But the difference between the template of eternal youth and the template, or the sacred inner sanctum of the self, is that the sacred inner sanctum of the self is very intimately connected to all aspects of you, of who you are. So what's happening is that template is kind of like settling in the heart. It went to the heart, and then it wanted to like settle in to that sacred inner sanctum and become very, very simple, even more simple than it was before, without clear identifying characteristics. And from that point, it's reminding me of metabolizing food, right? You take in a food and you chew it and you break it to smaller, until you break it into just consciousness. And then from being just consciousness, just pure energy structure, then we rebuild it into the tissues of the body. Must be that the template of eternal youth laces up or integrates with the function of the digestive system and the digestive process, right? I'm just inferring. I'm just reading this as it's coming in. So I love you guys. You're amazing. You're amazing. So the next thing that I'm feeling with it is it's rising up through all the layers and tissues and levels of the physiology, and it's just bringing so much joy with it. There's a joy that's like big. It's big, and it's coming back to the heart. The joy is coming back to the heart, and it's healing and nurturing the heart in a way that I've never seen before, and it's really beautiful. It must be, I'm inferring, this is me inferring, I'm describing the mechanics as it's going along, guys, as I perceive them, but you have to compare what I'm seeing to what you're experiencing too, because it's the combination of what I'm experiencing with what you're experiencing that gives you that 3D or multi-D version of what's happening. It's a level of what's happening in the heart that I'm seeing. Two things. One is an experience of a quality and flavor of love that is deeply infused with great, great happiness. And the other thing that's happening is a mechanic that's restructuring at all levels of the physiology. The ability to be very flexible in the heart. It's like structuring a kind of a flexibility there that allows the heart to stretch, open, to I'm looking for English words because it's a little abstract. It's like a capability of the heart to beam a certain quality of energy through it. Oh, yes. Okay, so we're getting into some information from that chamber that I mentioned earlier, that ancestral chamber. So what's coming in right now is that this energy beams through the heart chakra, and it's an energy that combines the most lovely, satisfying, luscious, yummy happiness, joy through the heart, mixed with a great, tremendous capacity. What it does is it has a sort of like accelerating evolutionary effect on the heart. That's what it is. It's causing not just the heart to be able to expand once, it's setting up a showing how the evolutionary flow in the heart goes throughout the whole creation, throughout all times and all spaces. There's a certain nature of this evolution which is unstoppable. It doesn't end. It's intimately linked to the evolution, the cosmic evolution of the whole universe. It is powerfully in line with the intentions of the divine. And the changes or modifications that occur in this area of the physiology as a result of this flow are not only permanent as the changes happen, they're progressive, they're cumulative, but they also accelerate. This lady, is a wonderful lady, is saying she was thinking how wonderful it would be to do a little work for brain longevity. 2/3 of the population suffers from age-related brain decline, which affects memory, focus, and mood, etc. And I have been reading that doctors now feel that it's not necessary at all, or that 50% of the population over the age of 85 has Alzheimer's. Yeah, I think I read some statistic like that too, like maybe 30%, but maybe it is 50%. I don't know. So if we put our attention on the physical body, you'll notice that consciousness, pure awareness, pure perception, is not homogeneously distributed through the physiology. That actually, in some areas, it is more concentrated than others. Every particle of creation has consciousness in it. Like this air molecule right here, this little air particle, has consciousness. But it doesn't necessarily have more consciousness than my finger, which may or may not have as much consciousness as my central nervous system. And if we take a moment just to self-reflect, take a moment and feel the consciousness in the body. Feel your perception, your awareness, your being in your body, your life force in your body. What you'll notice is that it's more concentrated in the central nervous system area than it is in other areas of the physiology. So we can think of this area of the body as like a kind of a great seat of divine intelligence in the physiology. And as I mentioned before, pretty much all of energy work, as I understand it, is a matter of creating self-referral loops at various places and through various areas of the being. So what we can do is, in this case, as a little exercise, which may be very good, maybe, I don't know if it'll encompass physical, emotional, and spiritual all at once, but it is the one that is on the table at the moment. And that is to allow your consciousness, your awareness, your ability to perceive, to fold in on the nervous system itself. You can create a self-referral loop between the physical nervous system, the central nervous system, that means the brain and the spine area, which is where all that consciousness is, so much is concentrated, and the consciousness itself to fold in on itself. And I'm just feeling that as I'm looking out into I'm doing it with eyes open. But for those of you who are listening, if it feels comfy to do it with eyes closed, you may find that it's easier, or that it's easier to focus your attention. And as that's happening, the deeper levels of the divine, of the self, of the being, are saying that this wouldn't really be effective without the expansion of the heart exercise, or the expansion of the heart healing that took place at the beginning of this webinar. Because the folding in and of itself is almost more like a mechanical process. It's like a mechanical process, and that without love, it doesn't have meaning. Without meaning, it doesn't have the spark of excitement that comes from co-creating with the divine. So interesting. So it's the meaning that makes it important. And again, that ancient ancestral archive is doing a little wake up here, and it's saying that it is also the meaning that we give to that space when we say this space, this holy ground, which I've created around me, like the chipmunk. It possesses the quality of all knowledge. It possesses the quality of expressing my ability to protect myself. It possesses the quality of utter, total self-acceptance. And that's what I wanted. The meaning part is, and it's good. The meaning part is, it is good. It is going to serve me. And if it doesn't serve you, you can restructure it. If we want eternal youth, perfect health, what qualities does that sacred space, does that holy space, let's not to confuse with the sacred inner sanctum, right? What that holy space, what qualities does it need to possess in order to allow everything that we're already manifesting for ourselves to react and relate intimately with the physiology in such a way as to produce a reversal of the aging process, perfect health. I'm getting the same thing that I got before. It also needs to have, as one of its characteristics, this incredibly beautiful, exquisite joy. That joy, happiness is part of that process. You know, I'm sure, I'm just thinking this right now, it's just coming to me at this moment. One of the reasons I think that people don't live forever is because life could be more fun. I mean, there comes a point for people where the idea or the experience of going back into the spirit world, where one is in a very deeply nurtured state and much closer to divine being and so forth, manifesting physiology that's down here at the subtle level, looks more interesting and more charming. And it's what we really, at that point, whatever's happening out here in the relative world just isn't as charming as that deep inner space in the spirit world. And so one moves over into a better space. But when the space that we're in our physical bodies, has been, when we're able to create and cultivate a quality of life, and I don't mean just how big my house is or how nice my car is or how much money is in my bank account, but I mean, or how pure my food is or yummy. I mean, it's that feeling around, it's where you live. It's the little avatar with it inside his little circle. You know, it's like, where is he in that map? Is that circle around him radiating a quality of energy that is allowing his evolution to be of maximum value to himself and maximum value to the whole world? If the answer is yes, who wants to die? No point in dying.